Friends, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to Virtual Strangers, episode 146. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. Ruuts, how you doing this fine Sunday night?
I'm actually wide awake. You know what I mean? I'm drinking coffee for one, but like this is a weird slot, right? And we just got out of an amazing time with Jimmy, right? Which is cool. Should be airing in a couple
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, we've been playing After the Fall, chilling out with Jimmy. No, wait a minute. That's not the Jimmy you're talking about, is it?
No, Jimmy from In Dreams. He's really cool, man. He was a really cool guy, and I can't wait for everybody to see the our on location on Tuesday, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we've been up to. That's why we're going on late tonight. Is we spent most of this afternoon hanging out with our friend Jimmy Bowers from In Dreams. We Roots, Masher, and I met him in Rec Room. And after a good hour of getting audio issues settled out, we were able to get in and play a little bit, and we had a blast. Not only did we play, though, we talked about a great many things, and you guys are really going to enjoy the episode that we have coming up in just a couple of days. I think we're going to try to get it all wrapped up and ready for you by Tuesday. And yeah, you guys are going to be excited about some of the things we talk about.
I can't believe how good Rec Room was, how much fun I had. I forgot how much good fun you can have in that game for something that's free. And Sayo says, first time seeing the intro. And like I said, that you did such an awesome job on it. I can't wait to see another one, which I know you haven't started one, but eventually he's going to make another one. And that was, I love that. I love that intro every time I see it. It's one of my favorite. Yours and at Mash's music.
Well, thank you, Roots, and welcome back, Sayo. Yeah, it was apparently an old time stranger coming back for the first time in the new era. Good to have you back here, friends. But yeah, man, a full day, a full week for our channel and VR in general. You guys are going to love some of the things we talked to Jimmy about. We tried to get him to spill the beans a little bit on these upcoming PlayStation VR 2 releases, and as predicted, he didn't budge very much on that. But we did get him to spill the beans on a couple of other things. So Quest players, PC players, you might want to tune in, and PlayStation VR players. We talked about a lot of different things, and Roots. I knew a lot was going on with In Dreams. I had no idea just how much.
Yeah,
I mean,
I couldn't believe
blew
it.
me away.
Yeah, it was such good information. And Mash and I are already teasing D that we have secrets that we can't tell her. And it's just cool. It's cool to just know there's so much going on in VR. And I can't wait to see them all unfold.
Get your In Dream stock now, ladies and gentlemen. That one might go up a little bit more before it's all said and done. Fabster in the chat says sliding in. You know who loves it when you slide on in, Roots?
My mom.
Yeah, sliding really fast, slow. She doesn't care. Kyle, Master Kitching's sliding in as well. What's up, Kyle? We were just talking about how much we love you and we never question when you're not here. Ever.
Never, ever. Anyway, so here's what's up, guys. Obviously, we're getting a late start. I do have to work tonight. We are on the clock. As of right now, I have not dropped anything from the show. We're going to try to squeeze it all in if we can. But if we can't, we're going to have to start cutting things out, and I don't want to have to do that. So why don't we kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. Chinatown D is here. What's up, Chinatown D? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, girl. Yeah, I'm sorry we can't share with you, D. But we know cool things you don't know. Bluebell is here. What's up, Bluebell? We know things that no one else knows, Roots. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, absolutely. He did say that, actually, which was cool.
Cool stuff. Yeah, cool stuff. It's not just cool because we know it, too. It would be cool regardless. Bluebell is here, as is Mr. Tasselhoff. Mickey Barrios is here. Mickey's here, Roots. And I've got a Walking Dead Onslaught key locked and loaded, ready to drop at a moment's notice here. Thanks to our friend Mickey. So welcome, Mickey. Good to see you here. Glad to see that you made it back from your vacation safely.
Yep.
Ion the Icon is here. Jonathan Taylor is here. What's up? Felipe Laras, don't tip me with a good time, Kyle, he says. Let's see here. Fabster, we said hello to. Guido, what's up, friend? Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Techno Glitch is here. He said Rec Room. Been a long 5 years for me. It's a lot different now, isn't it, Roots?
Yeah, that was one of the things I was telling you guys. I went in there and I couldn't believe there was just even quality of life. Everything, it felt better, and the game was amazing. And I can't wait to go back in. Got to stop myself from talking, Wes. Slap my mouth.
That's what I was thinking about the Wendigo, man. You know, the more I sit here and think about the Wendigo, the more I can't wait to get in there and check out the Conjuring.
Well, I was gonna say I want to check out the different modes, man, of Wendigo. I want to know what normal and what impossible. I thought we were impossible in impossible mode. So
right, yeah, we probably should have at least went with nightmare mode. I think, but you guys will see more about that later this week. Sayo, again, welcome back. Good to see you in the chat. Traveling Man 3775 is here. What's up, friend? Chris 9989. He said Kyle's here in all of us. Right.
That's right.
In our hearts.
And legitimately, he's here.
Sir Khalid is here, one of our big winners from Wednesday. Welcome, friend. Let's see here. Phil Yarn, good to see you. See, this is a good thing about occasionally going in a different time slot. Is sometimes Phil Yarn shows up. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, you get different, like you were saying before the show. You get different people, right? You get a lot of the regulars, you get other people that maybe can't be here at 2 p.m. Eastern, right? So.
Oh, yeah. Decepticon's here. What's up, Decepticon? And I saw you the other day in the Without Parole chat, by the way. I am going to get an all ye in on that one. So it's just hard for me. It's a whole different setup the way Brian does things. And I stay distracted when I'm on that. At least thus far, I'm still in strange surroundings and I don't quite pay attention to the chat as much as I should. But we're going to get there, guys. So you guys keep showing up on Wednesday, and eventually we'll be yelling all ye on Brian's show as well.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Mike Newton is here. And I think, Spry Guy, of course, Spry Guy at the top. Hello, Spry Guy. Thanks for popping in. We're right on the border with Spry Guy to that, almost too late for Spry Guy time of day. Hack is here as well. What's up, Hack? Good to see you, friend. Mepper is here. What's up, friend? Decepticon said, I beat everything there is to beat in Elden Ring. 136 hours.
That's crazy. Well, you must not have been hanging out with anybody else, because I spent a lot of time running around doing dungeons with D and MASH that I've already beaten, right? That's the fun of it. It's being summoned in and helping your friends beat bosses. And it got crazy in there, West, without going too far into it. But man, the people invading, dude, like they wait and they'll come, because when you summon somebody in, you open it up to somebody invading, and they'll wait and until you're right in the middle of the fight, and they'll jump in the middle of the fight. And so you don't even, if you're not paying attention, you don't see that they're there, and they're just like, they just took MASH out, and I turned around and I was like, oh my God, we're invaded, and it was over and I was already kicked out. It's to me, that's one of the funnest parts of that game. It's super cool.
250 hours, Roots. That's how long it would take me to have even come close to any kind of a boss in a game like that.
I think you'd love it. I think it's just amazing. It's like, to me, I agree with Derail. Returnal and Elden Ring are two of my favorite all-time games of any games I've ever played.
We'll get there, Roots. Just as soon as VR slows down a little bit, we'll get there.
That's true.
Anyway, as we mentioned before, we have a very limited amount of time, so we're going to hit these headlines. We're going to try to hit these headlines rapid fire style. So let's get warmed up on a little bit of hardware news. Unofficial render purports to show production of production model rather of Meta's next gen headset, Project Cambria. So I have not read this article, but I know what it says already because I saw the video. This is a render Roots from memory. This was done from memory. Brad Lynch's memory. Sadly, it's Bradley actually got to see the final production model, and he collaborated with someone who's good at 3D modeling to make this this little demo, if you will, this little model of the of what he remembered. So this is what the thing's going to look like when it hits the market. And first, my first impressions of it, dude, is like VR headset's about to get a lot more comfortable. Look how small and compact this thing is.
I know. You know what people, it's funny, Wes, people focus on when they see this are like the light bleed for VR. Like there's not a gasket that attaches on there, right? That's because that's the first thing that's people are saying. Dude, there's a gasket you can attach. But I've had seen people arguing in chats, and but it looks so sleek, and like somebody pointed out, it looks like they actually got some of the maybe potentially some of the hardware in the back as well, which is making it a lot thinner in the front, which is super cool.
Yeah, it has that PSVR style forehead rest on it, which I like. One of the other very notable features that was present on this render, as opposed to the one we saw earlier with Zuckerberg, is there's some very noticeable stuff going on in the center of the thing on the front. Some sensors. Looks like maybe some cameras on there. People are speculating that that's probably for 3D depth sensing. Uh, the idea is that the main drive of this is to be a mixed reality device for consumers. So this is basically being developed to be an AR device, but not really an AR device. This is going to be camera pass through based AR, and that's what the thinking is behind those sensors in the middle. Is that it's basically going to have a lot of functionality with regard to mixed reality applications. And you know, obviously we're all VR gamers, but you know, now for the first time hearing that, I'm actually starting to get excited about this thing because before it was just okay, great. We're going to have a slightly nicer, way more comfortable headset to play Quest games on and PCVR. Now we're starting to hear that this thing may have quite a bit more functionality
Mm.
than anything that we've gotten in the PC space before, or standalone space for that matter. So when they start talking AR, VR, XR, and I start thinking, well, maybe we'll get some mixed reality games that are exclusive to this thing. Now you've got my attention. Now you're giving me something here that I don't have any problem shelling some money out for.
Well, we already see with the Quest 2, I guess even the Quest 1, all the features down the road, right? The thing gets released, and then a year later, there's all of a sudden there's Airlink, there's this, there's that. And this thing, like even just with all that stuff in there, I mean, even if it's not there on day one, it's going to be worth having, I think. I mean, I'm agree with you. I was kind of like, I don't really care about this headset, but now I kind of do. I kind of do. I'm in a pickle, man. This is more money. I got the PSVR 2 to think about as well. It's crazy.
Well, what they're counting on, and when I say they, I don't just mean Meta. I mean the tech, the tech space in general. All of these big players that are putting this money in right now, they're counting on this XR functionality to have an effect of accelerating adoption. That they think that this could be the thing that really sells people on VR, AR, XR, and that's why this next wave of devices uh, are coming, and they look like this. They're more compact with a lot more features available. Basically, uh, this is the race to put out the Apple headset before Apple does. That's basically what this is going to be, and obviously for a much more affordable price. Um, and again, while it's true, it's running the same processor and operating system that the Oculus Quest 2 uses. The Oculus Quest 2 downclocks the processor, and it doesn't let it fully work to its potential because of limited cooling capacity. They have to keep it cool. Uh, from what I understand, the Cambria headset's going to have extra fans and stuff built into it. That processor is going to be unlocked, so they're going to have a lot more overhead with that regard. And notably, I keep hearing that this is going to be a consumer focused headset, meaning there's going to be lots of cool applications available to make use of all this extra tech that they have in there. So while true, it is just another XR2 chip, true that it is the Quest operating system, we're going to see a lot of new things from this device. And honestly, I meant what I said before, that I think that in many ways, this is kind of the prototype for Quest 3, which I expect to see next year.
Yeah, super cool. So you think you're gonna get it?
It depends on that price tag, man. I'd like to see them keep it under $500 or $600. If they do that, I'd say it's very likely that I'll get it. If you get to the $600 to $800 mark, it's kind of questionable for me. If it's more than $800, there's just no way. I'll wait. PlayStation VR 2 is right around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Sayo says spec wise, you have to say it's a Quest Pro. Really, it is kind of. I mean, it is Quest Pro, but with all this AR stuff, I mean, it could be something that's completely different than the Quest. That the Quest has no capability to do, right? So I guess
Yeah, and we got to remember that in addition to all of this, extra functionality and extra hardware that they've got going on here with the eye tracking and all this XR stuff, it is going to be a nicer display. It is going to have an unlocked processor to run your Quest 2 games in. So, I mean, who knows? We could see a situation now where we have games that are optimized for Cambria, right? Cambria optimized Quest 2 games. So all of your Quest library that you have right now will be playable on it, but some of the higher, more demanding titles might actually have might run better. Obviously, they'll look better on the new displays, and then we could get some modes and features that are specific to this headset. So even though I don't think that it's entirely gaming focused, this headset, it is consumer focused, so there's going to be a lot of gaming application for it.
Onikazi wants to know, how is the Vive Focus 3's higher clocked XR2 faring? It's very noticeable, or is it more of a bump to counter the high res? That's a good question. I haven't heard anything about the Vive Focus. I didn't even know they were to the third iteration yet. That's crazy.
The only thing that I knew about the Vive Focus 3, and it's kind of funny that you brought it up now, as we're getting ready to do this episode, is because I read an article today about an interesting application that UPS uses to train their drivers, and it's like a driving simulator in VR that teaches people basically how to drive. And what they're doing is they're loaning this application out to the Boys and Girls Club of America to teach kids from 13 and up how to drive with VR. But the headset that it runs on is Vive Focus 3. So yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know anything.
nobody's gonna get to use it. It's gonna be
Well, just the people at the Boys and Girls Club and UPS.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess. Well, UPS. There you go. Vive Focus.
But I don't know anything about Vive Focus. I know it has impressive specs. That's really all I know about it.
Well, and it's not big here, but it doesn't mean it's not big in other markets that are dwarf our market, right? I mean, China's market's huge. So
absolutely. Yeah, and Focus has been a big hit there ever since the first one launched. So
yeah.
Anyway, as I mentioned before, the Project Cambria is going to run on the Quest 2 OS, the Quest 2 operating system in Android based, I guess I should say. And we're starting to see some interesting things pop up in that code as well, especially this next item, VR Air Bridge Dongle for Meta Quest 2 discovered in code. Now, basically, data miners watch the Oculus Quest 2 code like a hawk. And anytime they find any kind of reference to new hardware or new features, it hits the news. Now, the one thing I would push back on from all of the coverage of this, basically what this is uh, code that's pointing to a potential new product coming out for Meta headsets, which allow you to tether your wireless standalone headset to your computer. Uh, from what I understand, without a need for a router, you can connect directly to your computer with a Wi-Fi 6 speed connection. Um, without the need for a router, and supposedly is going to bring about much better PC tethering experience in with regards to reliability as well as quality. And people are excited about this potential product. And I say potential because nothing's been announced. This could just be a prototype, something that they're testing, something that might never see the light of day. But everyone's reporting this as it's a confirmed thing for Quest 2. But I would remind everyone that it isn't just Quest 2 that uses this code, that uses this program. The upcoming Cambria headset and beyond could be using this. This might be a next gen product for a next gen headset.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just so many questions. I know Carmack, I guess, was talking about this. And I think was it, I just closed the chat to scroll this up. I got everything jacked up. Um, it's somebody in the chat was wanting to know. I think it was Bluebell was wanting to know what the difference between this one and other adapters are. That's a good question. I mean, there's whatever the technology is in there. I think it's cool that there's actually technology out there that could make it very easy to connect. I know for me, my controllers, even just the Xbox controller, the dongle I have for the USB, it makes it so easy to connect. And I know that's not necessarily a headset, but whatever they can do to get the latency down and everything more stable, right? To where across the board it's 100% easy, because AirLink is great for some people, and Wes is a perfect testament. You know what I mean? Like, you've had issues trying to get it to run from day one. I don't know if you still can or not. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to run it perfect. But with this dongle, I'm assuming you plug it in and it just hooks up and you're good, right?
Right. And that's the promise of all of these articles anyway, is that there's less latency, there's a wider data pipeline allowing for higher quality visuals and less compression. That's kind of what it promises. Now, the question specifically regarding other devices such as this, as far as I know, other Air Bridge type dongles that are available right now are typically being used for casting. It isn't something that's being used for um, connecting and actually playing on PC games through it. Now, I could be wrong about that, and he may be talking about other things like the thing that people are using with Vive and Rift. That is a different technology, I think, based on an older Wi-Fi standard. So those are like Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5 um, technology,
Mm.
and this is using the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology. So obviously, again, less latency, wider bandwidth, and better performance.
Yeah, yeah. And I was saying when we were doing our thing today, this would be a great thing for PlayStation VR2 to plug into. And you even went a step further, and you said, well, how do we know it couldn't be built in there? You know what I mean? Like this technology. And I mean, we don't know. I mean, at least from what the Quest has shown me over the last couple of years, of Quest 2 is there's just because the technology isn't there now doesn't mean they didn't build it in there for a later date to unroll like all the
Right.
features that Quest has done. So
Right, and Roots' whole thing earlier was like, well, I mean, if they could do this for a Quest and a PC, then they could very easily come out with a dongle for your PlayStation 5 that would allow you to uh, connect up a future wireless version of the headset to the thing, or even the version that's coming out. And my whole thing is that we heard before PS5 ever launched that it had some fairly advanced Wi-Fi 6 hardware inside of it that was put there specifically for tethering with a VR headset. And then, the conversation kind of from there went off to Masher saying that he heard that that there could be some wireless stuff at play already, and the reason why they're able to do so much with their USB C connection is that part of the data transfer is being handled wirelessly already, which I don't know, and obviously we won't know that until we get the full spec sheet on it. But yeah, at this point, anything's possible, right?
Yeah, that's so crazy. So cool. Technology is just taking off, and at any rate, if this is true, if this is coming, like they're saying in this thing, it's going to be amazing. It's going to revolutionize what we already have, which is AirLink Plus. I guess it'll be right with a dongle.
Space Dennison joining us in chat. What's up, Void Cat? As is Wolveraza Roots. If Wolveraza keeps harassing people in the chat, I'm going to call the police.
Yeah, dude, I'm about ready to just throw him out.
I'm joking, Wolveraza. Sorry that you've had such a shitty couple of days, man. Glad to see you here, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully we can lighten the mood and just say some people suck. So
a lot of people suck.
A lot of people,
suck.
That's not a bad thing. Well, depending on who you are, it could be.
That's true. Moving right along, Epic releases Unreal Engine 5, but its headlining features aren't quite ready for VR. So, Unreal Engine 5, we've talked about it for well over a year now. A lot of anticipation for what this is going to mean for the gaming industry, not just VR. And it has fully been launched now for all the different game studios to make use of in developing their next gen games. Only the headlining new features that come with Unreal Engine 5, Lumen and Nanite, which we talked about at length when they were unveiled, not quite ready to be used in VR just yet. But the good news is, Roots, is all of the rest of Unreal Engine 5 fully usable in VR right now. So even though this groundbreaking new technology it has not yet been adapted for VR, I'm sure we're going to get there, but that doesn't mean that Unreal Engine 5 can't do amazing things for VR games right now.
Absolutely. And if you play flat games, it's going to do other things right today. But the technology is amazing, and it's going to take a little bit for them to iron out the lumen and the nanite. But man, it's like you said, the features that will be there already are phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what people are already doing. I mean, I think probably we'll see it with the PlayStation VR 2 release first, maybe, but I don't know. I guess considering it's an Epic, could be in a PC VR game as well, right? To see some kind of a release.
Well, Epic, one thing is becoming increasingly obvious, and that is Epic is all in on this Metaverse VR concept going into the next generation. Their fingerprints keep showing up in everything that you look at, and it's quite obvious that that they're going to have a big role to play in the VR during this upcoming generation. And I'm sure eventually that's going to mean that these features get modified so that they can be used for VR as well. Basically, all Lumen is anyway is like software-based ray tracing. So you don't have to have hardware that can do ray tracing. You can do it, based on this software, and apparently it's not very resource intensive and it works very well. But so that don't work for VR, then we'll just have to use the hardware-based ray tracing, right?
Right. But think about it though. The software-based will be for the Quest. The lighting, that's going to be amazing. Onikazi says if they improve over a proper Wi-Fi 6 router with a strong signal, he'll be surprised. And that's the whole point. I'm pretty sure it won't. It's just going to make it stable for everybody. Because there are a lot of people that just, no matter what, they just can't get a good AirLink, stable AirLink. So,
well, I'm in the market for a new Wi-Fi 6 router right now, actually, now that you mention it, because my crap router, it bit the dust recently.
So
everyone had to
will become the shit one, right? Nice.
Yeah, right. Everyone's moved on to my gaming router now. All the traffic in my house goes through my gaming router, which I haven't really noticed any kind of an issue with it. But I haven't been using virtual desktop any either. I've just been tethering to my PC with the wire. So yeah, I'm in the market. I'm going to keep my eyes open for on the Facebook Marketplace for a good used one. Obviously, I don't use the wireless stuff enough to really justify spending a bunch of money on it.
They're not that expensive.
But my eyes are open.
You can
Yeah,
get
not anymore.
you can get the at least the one I think the one I got even, which is a decent one. It was like less than $100. So even the crap ones are not that expensive anymore. So you might
Yeah,
check that
that's
too.
good.
Just check and see, if you don't see any decent ones on Facebook Marketplace. Or
Yeah,
the show should buy
absolutely.
you one, dude. With all the stuff you
No,
do, I mean,
well,
I
it's
would,
very nice of you to say, but we're going to keep letting that money build up, and when the show really needs something, the show will get it.
uh,
There's other things
listen,
that we need, and
listen to
we could
Wes,
spend.
man. He's so diligent, man. That's a good thing.
Well, we don't make a lot of money
That's true.
through donations, but it does add up over time, and we've been doing this for a while now. So every little bit helps. So again, shout out the patrons out
Yes.
there. Shout out to the people that leave donations on YouTube. Shout out to Guido who gives me donations live in person. It all adds up, and one of these days, I mean, we did spend quite a bit of it, going back to what Sayo was saying earlier with the you know the logos and the whole new look of the channel. We spent a lot on this stuff. We even spent some on stuff we had to throw away, because it didn't turn out to the quality level that we were expecting. This is actually the second or third iteration of our channel art and stuff. The earlier versions weren't quite as good.
Yeah, and this is a perfect example of what I was saying to Onikazi. Mickey Bear says my Airlink plays like crap. Bluebell says my Airlink works well, and I only have DSL. They need something in the middle, man, because Bluebell shouldn't be able to say what they just said, and Mickey Bear should be able to say mine at least played normal. Wes should be able to say I can access Airlink, and all of these things don't exist.
Well,
So
if Mickey has a decent router, then he should try virtual desktop. Like
yes.
Airlink don't work at all for me at all, but virtual desktop works very well for me. So
And if I'm being
I will.
honest, virtual desktop, I believe, is the superior version anyway. Not because you have to pay for it, but because Guy puts extra stuff in there. The vibrant colors, there's a lot of things in there that we forget. Even the synchronous space warp is phenomenal. It makes it run really smooth. So
Absolutely, it is the superior version. Most people would tell you.
yeah,
Anyway, back to Epic, back to Unreal Engine 5. A lot of people saw this news that Unreal Engine 5's main two features aren't available in VR, and kind of had the attitude, well, obviously Epic doesn't care about VR so much. Not true. According to this next headline, Epic has confirmed PSVR 2 Unreal Engine 5 projects are in development. Not only that, Roots, but when you look at this list that's kind of in the background there, it's a list of partners, Unreal Engine 5 partners, and it has PlayStation VR 2 listed as an official Unreal Engine 5 partner. And what we suspected that things were like this were going to happen last year when we reported that Sony uh, made a very large monetary investment in Epic Games. They're literally partially owners of Epic Games. So we suspected that not only better collaboration on traditional games, but that with Epic's increased focus on VR and the metaverse, that would mean big things for PlayStation VR 2. And here we have proof positive of just that. Officially partnered with PlayStation VR 2. PSVR 2 is going to be a big deal,
mm,
man. I'm not saying that it's going to come out to the level that traditional gaming is on right now, but it's going to be something much more like traditional gaming than we've ever seen before in VR gaming from any platform. Like Sony's treating this thing like it's a legit big deal, at least so far.
right. Well, it is, and this is the thing. Why would Epic not want to be on the best VR platform that exists, which is going to be this platform for a while? And I know there's a lot of PCVR gamers that their left eye, or maybe you're right, is twitching right now, and it's true. You're just gonna have to deal with it for a little bit. You're not going to be the kings of the playground for probably a year,
You
right?
know, I think PC gamers are kind of, at least it's been my experience, that they're kind of keen on the idea of PSVR 2. Most of them are looking forward to it. I think that the Oculus Quest or Meta Quest has had this effect on VR gaming, that, you know, for lack of a better word, watering the games down, that PCVR players have come to appreciate PlayStation VR a lot more. Where before Quest, they were kind of at odds with one another.
It's true.
Now that Quest is here, my enemy's enemy is my friend, and PCVR gamers and PSVR gamers are kind of kindred spirits now that are tired of cell shading and tech demos.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I agree 100%. Spry Guy says he watched the video Jim Hall posted in Discord. UE5 looks amazing, and if you don't know what he's talking about, you aren't a member of the Discord. Join the Discord. You can check out the video. I think it's in the VR news, maybe. Not sure.
Yep.
So
Invitation to the Virtual Strangers Discord community in the description below. Awesome people posting awesome things every awesome day.
Yeah.
We invite you to come along.
Yeah, it'll be an awesome time. I promise.
Anyway, let's try to blow through some of these Metaverse headlines. Big number of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Waveguide maker DigiLens announces new investment at $530 million valuation. Roots, this is a lens maker that specializes in waveguide, which is a key technology for AR glasses. $500 million valuation before AR even is a thing.
Wow. If you own this company, are you not tempted to sell? I probably wouldn't, but 500 million, you probably wouldn't get that much, but maybe 350, 400. That's crazy. That's a lot of money for valuation. And it's they're the top lens makers, right? So they're probably going to be used in just about every AR thing out there, I would imagine.
Yeah, what waveguide technology is kind of an amazing thing in certain applications of it anyway. And by no means am I any kind of expert on it, but this is a way to get away from the traditional screen model that most headsets have right now. This is a completely different way to project imagery into a headset or glasses, I guess, at this point. And apparently, a lot of people have a lot of faith in DigiLens with regards to their place in this space. So a big number of the week, $530 million. That's pretty big.
Yeah, crazy. It's huge.
Moving along, Meta has canceled F8 this year, 2022, to focus on building the metaverse, they say. And this is just Roots, in my opinion, all this is confirmation of what we said in October has happened. So before this last year, we would have the Facebook Summit F8 in April. And then later in the year, we would have Oculus Connect, which was VR and gaming focused. So this past October, during the last Connect, it was very VR focused, but it wasn't very gaming focused. And we said at that time, okay, obviously Facebook isn't Facebook anymore. Facebook is a VR company now. And now October is kind of the new Facebook showcase, the new Facebook Summit. So coming in April, when they do the Meta Gaming Showcase, it's basically going to take the place of the old F8. They're switching places, and this just is the final nail in that coffin. They have completely switched. Now October is the summit. April's about the games, and that's fine, dude. As long as they're giving us something gaming focused, I'm actually kind of happy. I'm happy that Facebook isn't just a social media company, but now they're Meta. Now they're a VR company. It just is basically the final straw, showing us that they are all in on VR, XR, AR, and really the social media thing is yesterday's news, yesterday's tech, and who knows how much longer that the Facebook platform is going to even be around.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think we'll hear about on the 20th? We'll hear what's in the box or not? I still want to know what's in that damn box.
They may bring it up. They may give us some news with regards to Cambria, but I suspect that showcase is going to be largely gaming focused. I think, we'll say for the last 3 or 4 months, that PSVR 2 has dominated the headlines, dominated the hype in the VR space, and I think Meta is acutely aware of that. And I think that they're bringing their big guns to this gaming showcase. I think they're going to really show us that while they are focused on building their social platform, that they're still a player with regards to gaming. And I think that they're going to try to steal back some of that PlayStation VR 2 hype on April the 20th. And that's why that week we're not going to be going on Wednesday night. We're not going to have a typical Strangers in the Night episode that week. Instead, on Tuesday, April 20th, next week, we're going to be live reacting to the Meta Gaming Showcase. We're going to come on the air. Yourself, Masher, and I, 20 to 30 minutes before the showcase starts, give a little bit of speculation and wish list. We're going to watch the showcase together, and then we're going to discuss it afterwards. So, Strangers in the Night is actually going to be Strangers in the Early Afternoon on Tuesday, April 20th. So you guys mark that one on your calendar.
Yeah, it's 420. So join us there. It's gonna be cool. My thing is, I to be able to do, we're gonna be able to watch this live with people and react. I think it's cool. Hopefully, it's better than last year's, because reacting to that would suck, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be better than last year's. Although last year did give us Resident Evil 4.
That's true.
Which was one of the best titles of the year. I would expect to learn more about the Grand Theft Auto. I would expect to hear more about the Ubisoft titles. I would expect to hear more about these Vertigo titles. And then we've already heard, a pretty good list of developers that are going to be showing up, sharing news at this thing. So it's going to be an interesting event, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to do a nooner with all these people. Dee says, who else likes to do a good nooner?
My mom.
Yeah, she does.
Tasselhoff says Tuesday's the 19th, Wednesday's the 20th. I thought that the 20th fell on a Tuesday. I hope that's true. Let's see here. It is on a Wednesday, Roots. That's absolutely true. Thank you.
Yeah, so that makes
thank you, Tasselhoff.
So it's going to be on Wednesday then, right?
Yeah. So we're going to reverse the order then on that Wednesday. We'll be going Strangers in the Night during the early afternoon, and then we'll do the Gamescast later that night with Brian Paul. Or when I say we, I mean me. Dude, I'll be on there talking to Brian about it.
I think Mash just had his wife change their Disney plans. Mash, can you have Stephanie change it back for Wednesday?
Yeah, where did we get Tuesday from, bro? Was it Masher? I'm going to blame it on him.
It's Mash. Gosh dang it, Mash. No, I'm just kidding. It's probably not Mash's fault, but hopefully we can fix this, because, yeah, she really legitimately switched things.
Well, that's not good. Where did we get Wednesday from, bro? Where did we?
Tuesday?
I hope I didn't do that. Tuesday, yeah. Hopefully I didn't do that. I'm going to blame it on Eric, but maybe it was me. I don't know.
Well, at least we figured it out now,
Yeah. Have her change it back to. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is not good. This is not good. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, we haven't done that for a while. We need to do a we're sorry segment. Mash, we're gonna start right now with you. We're sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know for 100% it's my fault, but if it is, I'm very sorry.
I learned a long time ago. It's just an apology away from things going good.
One of us should. Hey, look, Mash. Hey, dude. Yeah, I mean, of course, we would love to have you here for the episode, but dude,
if you can't be there, it's Roots
and I. Yeah, Roots and I can handle this one, man. Go do stuff with your wife. Don't have her switch it back. Just go tell her to switch it so that you guys do shit on both days, and that you don't have any kind of obligation with us that week. You have been released from your obligations for Virtual Strangers that week, and maybe we can pop in on your show on Thursday and talk a little. Well, I don't know. I don't want to put myself in his plans, but if you want to chat it up with us on camera, I'm sure we can figure something else out.
He said it's all Felipe's fault, and then he said it's all good. He'll make it work. So,
dude, don't push it with your awesome wife, dude. Like, Priorities, bro. Priorities. I understand. I'm married. My wife would, which I think she'll be happy that it's all happening on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. But we didn't have to like change vacation plans and shit because of it. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Yeah. Task says it's a
Anyway,
conspiracy against MASH. Don't believe us. You know.
yeah. Mash says his wife's a diehard that she loves us. Well, we love her too.
Yeah.
Not as much as you, obviously. Like you really
Not
love
in
her,
a
but
not that would be weird. Not in a weird way. MASH. I promise.
anyway, back to the metaverse. Did you hear, Roots? The metaverse is a big deal. Such a big deal that we have companies from all aspects of the marketplace jumping in. People you that you would think would have nothing to do with the metaverse jumping into the metaverse. And in case you didn't hear, Epic Games has their fingers in all of it. Lego and Epic Games are building a metaverse for ages 4 to 99.
Oh,
So, Roots, first of all, what kind of headsets are these 4-year-olds using? Like, is it going to be like a Lego headset that you build or what?
I don't know. And did they get varifocal lenses figured out yet? So people won't freak out about the 4-year-old using the
I know what it's
headset.
going to be. I know what it's going to be. It's going to be one of those ViewMaster things where you hit the slide and so you know what I'm talking about?
It could be like a very detailed 3D, you know. Like this is the thing, like a VR image wouldn't be the same as a VR or would it? As for your eyes, bad to look at? I don't know.
Well, you know, people don't talk about it a lot, but that ViewMaster kind of is the grandfather of VR. It's kind of the first VR headset, and even though it didn't have like video in it, it had full 3D pictures that you could look at just by holding this thing up to your face and pointing it at the light. I'm surprised that some creative developer hasn't like recreated a lot of those, you know, old slides and stuff. Like you go into a VR room, you pick up the ViewMaster, and I'm sure there's a catalog. And you know, whoever has the patent on it, Hasbro or whoever it was that made that thing, I'm sure there's a catalog of all these slides and stuff that they used to sell for it. Like I used to love that thing. Obviously, that's the kind of thing that I love now. It's the kind of thing I loved when I was, you know, as far back as I can remember. If they made some kind of digital recreation in VR of those old slides, I would totally go back and play with it. Like I would buy that. I'd pay $10 for it just to be able to go back and look at all those old slides in my headset.
Absolutely. Talk about nostalgia, right? And you can actually have it be really high def, maybe even more 3D. Maybe you're able to interact in it. I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do with it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they did. I mean, ViewMaster made some really cool stuff as technology took off. I remember one of the things they made was a projector. It
Mm.
was like a flashlight.
Oh
It was
yeah.
like a big thing like a flashlight, and you put the cartridges in it, and it projected the images onto your wall. And obviously, it wasn't like full 3D like the headset was, but it was still really cool. And as I remember, there was some way that they had sound effects with it, so that like it would tell you when to hit the slide, and it would tell a story.
Wow.
I love that thing too.
That's cool. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, wife is in the chat. Wife, I love you, first of all. But when I said to you the other day that we were going to have to go on Tuesday, what I really meant was that we were going to have to go earlier on Wednesday next week. It's not actually going to be on Tuesday. Still going to be on Wednesday, just earlier, way
Well,
earlier in the day. So,
what's cool is now you have Tuesday night free, right? Maybe to hang out with her.
yep, there you go. So,
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully that doesn't change things up for you too much. I don't think we had any plans anyway, but yeah, it'll get both shows back on the same day because obviously the games cast was still going to be on Wednesday. So now this just kind of pulls everything back together on the same day. So
Cool.
I think she'll be cool with that.
That's awesome.
Anyway, Lego and Epic Games building a metaverse ages 4 to 99. Roots, I put this in here because this is legitimately something that's going to sell headsets. These people that are in the Legos are out there and they are really in the Legos. There are people who are fanatical about Legos, thousands and thousands of them.
Yeah.
And something like this will sell headsets to certain people.
Absolutely. Well, this is the thing about VR. We always say they have to give you something you can do or you can't do in real life in VR, right? And for some people, like they don't have money and they can't get the cool kits, right? The Lego sets or whatever. So this is going to give them access to it for one. And then two, they're going to be able to do things, that you can't do in real life. Maybe a Lego that's like as tall as your house, or you're building a huge dinosaur, or who knows? It's going to be super cool, right?
Have you ever played any of the Lego video games, like Lego Star Wars, Lego Harry Potter, Lego Batman, Lego
I
Marvel?
have. Those are super cool, actually.
They're awesome. They're good games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine something like that. You're going to go into this VR world. All the buildings are going to be made out of Legos. The cars are going to be Lego cars. The avatars' roots are going to look like the characters in those
Mm-hmm.
games. It's going to be little Lego dudes.
And you get to
I think it's going to be cool.
maybe have a gun and point it at stuff, and it like assembles Legos like you do in the other Lego game. Watch the stuff form right in front of you, right? Staircases or whatever. Yeah, super cool.
And then King Kong comes through and knocks the buildings down, and it's just Legos that fall everywhere.
Damn it! I spent so much time building that shit, King Kong.
I know it.
Jerk.
Right? Felipe says that the Harry Potter ones are great. The Batman one's really good too. I haven't tried the Star Wars one, but I bet it's awesome as well.
Yeah, they're all cool. They're really cool.
Anyway, good on Lego, good on Epic for recognizing that potential and getting that deal done. Did you hear, Roots, the Epic is into the Metaverse in VR?
Oh, well, they've clearly tons of stuff going on, right? Crazy.
Epic Games' free 3D scanning apps looks pretty amazing. So this is Reality Scan. This is an upcoming application that's about to hit beta on current model iPhones or recent model iPhones rather. That takes full advantage of all of these array of cameras that come on the newer iPhone models, and I guess in the future it'll be the newer Samsungs and all the different new models of phones that have, you've seen these phones now, right? They have 4 cameras on the front of it, and facial recognition and all this shit going on. Well, apparently, Epic's put out an app that's going to allow you to use these phones to scan things in a full 3D scan to bring it into the metaverse. So you can literally scan your whole house and all your shit and bring it into VR using applications such as this.
How cool would that be? Can you imagine if you could scan your whole, even just your whole room, but a whole house where you could walk around your entire house and be in VR, and like that's your thing. You're not really running into anything, right? Because you see your couch, and I'm not talking AR see through, pass through. I'm talking like it's in there. I think that's really cool.
It's awesome, man. And what's really awesome about it is this isn't like specialized equipment. These are phones that people already have in their pockets that they didn't buy thinking that they were getting this kind of a feature set. This is just regular phones, that have been on store shelves for a while, and now it has all this new functionality. Thanks to Epic Games. Epic once again pushing this concept of the metaverse forward and being maybe not as big of a champion as Meta. Obviously, no one's as big of a champion of the metaverse as Meta, but Epic really showing themselves to be one of the top players with regards to building this next phase of technology.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's definitely cool. D's got a good point there. Or I guess no, it wasn't D. It was Chris9989. I'm going to walk up to random people on the street and scan them for NPC characters. And that's going to be a real thing. And what if it's somebody coming up to scan you for some kind of a weird experience that you don't want to be a part of? Like, you ain't scanning me, bro.
You'll never know it.
You'll never know. We're entering a weird time. Because people will be scanning people that you don't even know. That's just weird.
All right. Cue the 30-minute conversation about deep fake and all the shit that's going on with that, and the voice modulation technology that's available right now. We could really get into a deep one here if I will allow it to happen.
It's a good topic for
I will
Wednesday.
not.
It's a good topic for
That is
Wednesday.
a great topic.
So let's put it in the
Exactly.
back of our mind.
So yeah, we can discuss the dangers of this technology. Actually, they kind of already did that this past week on Without Parole. They had the conversation, last Friday. Brian and Miles Dyer talked about what happens when VR gets too real,
Mm.
and a lot of these very same issues came up during that conversation. So I would suggest anyone who is interested in kind of getting started on thinking about these sorts of issues of tomorrow, issues of today, really. Go back to the Without Parole channel and check out Friday's episode. It was really it was different, something different for Brian's channel.
Oh, cool. Absolutely, check that out. And Chris998 says, "Yo, can I scan your feet for my game?" Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Chris. You're gonna get some weird stuff, and I don't even want to talk about what my mom would scan. We all know that, so we'll leave it there.
I'm going to get me a new phone right before Comic-Con next year, Roots, and I'm going to have a wild time afterwards.
I'm scanning some NPCs for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough fluff, dude. Let's get into some gaming.
Here we go now.
Okay, so this is typically the part where I would credit Upload VR for this article and this news that I'm about to talk about. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to credit me for this because this past week on the Without Parole Wednesday or Wednesday edition, I basically spoke this into reality, Roots. I went on a rant, like a 5 minute, well, maybe not 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes long of me praising To the Top as this underrated gem in the VR catalog. Started talking about what I wanted to see from Electric Hat Studios in a follow up To the Top. Dude shows up in the chat, says, "Do you want to see it?" Sends us a trailer. We unveil the trailer. Bada boom, bada bing. Super kit To the Top, Roots, and it's everything that I wanted and then some. This thing looks amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I was going to say. You need to take more credit for more than just bringing it up. You spoke this concept into existence, and I can't say 100% whether the devs saw that or not when you talked about it many times. It just shows you that you never know who's watching, right? And you never know who's a fan. I mean, obviously they're a fan of PSVR without parole, and how cool is it that you were able to showcase this just because you were praising how good this game is and that they need a sequel. And he's like, bam, here it is.
Legitimately a top 25 VR game, not just in the PlayStation catalog, but VR in general. This game is, or the predecessor to Super Kit, is an evergreen. It's a game that is just as fun now as it was on the first day. A game that you can play with friends. A game that's available on all platforms. And while yes, it is kind of a tech demo. That's true. It's kind of a tech demo. Very basic graphically, not a whole lot of drive with regards to a campaign. That's where Super Kit comes in. To the Top is kind of this foundation that an amazing game can be built upon, and that's what Super Kit is. It takes everything that To the Top did well, and then fills in the gaps of the things that it maybe didn't do so well to give us a single player campaign with combat, with beautiful art and large, vertically oriented levels. I mean, this art looks beautiful, Roots. I think it looks like kind of like a Ratchet and Clank game, only it's like hardcore VR.
Yeah, Onikazi says he didn't realize they were doing a crossover with Ubisoft, that they enemies look straight out of Rayman. Same type of thing,
There you
right?
go.
It's the same kind of thing, and it's cool. It works, and we already remember. We see that kind of stuff in other games, right? Flat games. Sayo says, remember when the To the Top was rejected from the Quest store, and that was an early Quest scandal. But they're back and better than ever, right? And I agree, 100%.
Yeah, and I found it interesting. If you do read this article from Upload, you know, To the Top still not on the official Quest store for whatever reason. And I remember at the time when they were trying to get it on there before App Lab was even a thing, they were very direct with you know, the Oculus brass, going right up to them even at trade shows and asking, you know, some of the higher level guys right to their face, like, what's the deal? So I find it interesting. If you read through this article here, it talks about obviously it coming to PSVR and PC. I don't see any mention of Quest. If I remember, let me read through this again here. Let's read it together. This is from Ian Hamilton, Upload VR. A new trailer shows gameplay and environments from To the Top sequel Super Kit. To the Top released on Steam, PSVR, and Oculus Rift in 2017 and 2018, with our review praising its approach to controls, level design, and music, with powers enabling fun parkour-like traversal over various obstacle courses. The new trailer for the video, Super Kit To the Top, premiered on PSVR Without Parole and shows a look at environments from the new game, some fighting mechanics, and includes the text, gameplay captured on PCVR, with clips showing vibrant colors used throughout. Overall, it looks like Electric Hat Games took a big step forward in visual design from the first game. We reached out to Electric Hat Games and confirmed the plan is to release To the Top Super Kit first on PC and then on PSVR, with the trailer giving 2022 as a time frame. So there you go, Roots. PC first, then PSVR. A glaring omission, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of weird, right? But I mean, at the same time, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not, but I mean, you'd think they would have mentioned it, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be. I don't think they'll settle for an App Lab release with this one. I don't think they need to. I think with PSVR 2 coming and you know, in the existing PC player base, which is constantly growing, I think that they could go without putting this on Quest if they have to. Obviously, they don't want to do that. But I don't think that they need Quest to be successful with this. I think if this game is as amazing as we think it is, that that people are going to play it wherever they put it.
Yeah, absolutely. You like you said, they don't need it, and they can put it on the other platforms. So, and the first one was like you said, a tech demo, right? I mean, even though it wasn't a tech demo, it kind of was. This isn't. That was to see that it worked, and they made an even better game. That needs to be on the official Quest store if it's going to be on the Quest.
I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly. Got VR Legs joining us in the chat says Grand Theft Auto San Andreas VR 420. Please, we've waited long enough. And
That's a good
thanks
chance
for
too.
joining us there, buddy. As we mentioned a moment ago, we are going to be doing live reaction. Strangers in the Night that day is not going to be in the night. It's going to be in the afternoon or even the morning. I mean, that thing's pretty early. So we're going to be talking and watching that showcase along with all of you. So be sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscription button and ring the bell. The bell's important. That way you can be notified when we go live.
Yeah, see, Onikazi, I don't think that they would. He says sales are sales. If they want to cut themselves off from that, that's their choice, and that's 100%. And if I don't think they would say we're not doing Quest because of what happened last time, but they would 100% look at like you would look at a piece of crap. Someone's like, here, eat this. They're going to look at that offer to go on App Lab and say, fuck you. You know, we're not doing App Lab this time, bro. So it has to be Quest or not at all. Quest store, right? And I think it will be for sure.
Well, the question is how much advantage comes from going to App Lab after just going to, other than just side quest, right?
True.
Like they can side quest this thing and they don't have to give Oculus a cut.
No, that's true.
Like, you know, if I were them and it were me, I mean, obviously, I don't know how well they've done on App Lab. Maybe App Lab's amazing, but I know it's not easy to find games on there, and I'm not so sure that's something that they want to do. And if I were them and I had one of the greatest VR games of all time, and I couldn't get it on the Quest store for whatever reason, um, I wouldn't be so keen to jump in App Lab just to give Oculus a cut of the sales that I probably could have gotten the same amount of sales or close to it on side quests. So
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. It's just weird. The whole
a
thing is
lot
weird.
a lot of speculation there on my part, but they could have a Quest publishing deal lined up, and they might not have just mentioned it in the upload thing. I could probably clarify this all very quickly just by going to I think the guy's name's Dan and asking him. So
Oh,
maybe that's what I'll do.
that's true. Radio Runt says he makes it. He made it. It's awesome. You know who else?
Welcome,
Else
everyone.
made it? Walkabout Mini Golf made it with another banger, right?
Thank you, Roots. Moving along, Mist Island becomes a Walkabout mini golf course this year. Walkabout mini golf making waves in recent weeks as they announced a deal with the Jim Henson Company to bring Labyrinth into a set of upcoming courses for its very popular mini golf game, exclusive. Well, no, I guess it's not exclusive anymore on Quest and PC. They also teased at that time that there were other IPs that they are working behind the scenes with, and that more would be announced in the coming weeks and months. Well, here comes the next one, and it's a doozy. Roots as Mist and the Mist universe is kind of their next big reveal with regards to their mini golf game. And you made the comment when we talked about this recently, like, how do you do that? How do you bring Mist into a mini golf game? And I said, well, you just bring the map in and you poke holes in it, and ta-da, right?
Yeah.
But this is going to be great, right? This is going to bring a lot of people into the walkabout world that otherwise wouldn't have jumped in. Case in point, Scion will now be playing mini golf on Steam. Um, just because they're bringing Mist into it. I'd say that there's a lot of other PC gamers that are going to be doing just the same because this is a big deal with a passionate fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to say, Spry Guy says, you said Mist, where is Scion? And what's cool about this, if you want like a deeper understanding about Walkabout Mini Golf, Mash just did an interview with the developer of Walkabout Mini Golf talking about this. I just linked the channel in the chat, and go listen to the developer. I mean, it was this is the thing, man. Interviews are only as good as the questions being asked. You know what I mean? And the questions that Mash asked in that interview were phenomenal, and really tell you a lot about what's going on behind the scenes with Walkabout Mini Golf. Super cool.
Yeah, this past Thursday, Q2C Gamer VR Gamer Live on YouTube and Facebook. Links are in the description down below. Be sure to check that out because what Root says is true. Mash is getting good at that interview stuff, huh?
Yeah, well, both of you, man. I mean, the questions that's how I felt. I was like, I was there in Rec Room to have fun and throw a couple questions in there, but man, you guys come up with the what everybody wants to know. You know what I mean? This is like you have a small window to find out everything that everybody wants to know, and that's what a good interviewer does. And it's
and good on Jimmy for answering some of them. Like, I didn't expect them to answer these questions. I was just asking them because that's what I'm supposed to do. I didn't expect him to actually give us some info like he gave us, guys. Big things coming from In Dreams. Anyway, this is not about In Dreams. This is about Walkabout Mini Golf. This is about Mist. I'm excited about this, Roots. Like, Walkabout Mini Golf is amazing already. We already know how cool Mist is. I'm just curious how exactly, all jokes aside, how exactly are they going to do this? There's so many possibilities, right?
Yeah. Well, the good news is they're able to do what they want to do in that world. Like they want to bring something special. It's not like, okay, they're just gonna go into one of the environments and, like you said, jokingly, poke holes into it. They're really going to make it amazing. And the best part is, and this is what one thing that Mash confirmed with them, is they're not raising prices. They're going to do their best, and their plan is to keep charging $3, whether it's a known IP or not, for all of these new courses, right? So
I think they should. I think that I'm glad that they're charging for them. The base game is cheap enough, and if they're going to bring in these big licenses, they have to pay for them, right?
Right, and it feeds itself, and everybody's loving it. It's just an amazing game. I mean, everybody loves mini golf, but if you can go into these fantastical worlds and just play them, and the best part is like, say you've got a group of like 5 people, only one of you needs to buy the DLC. It's $3. Then everybody can join you, and they just have to be in your group, and you all get to play for free. You know, you don't get to find the balls or whatever, but it's just an amazing game.
I agree with that. Anyway, you know what else is an amazing source of content on PSVR? Not PSVR, PCVR. On PCVR, Half-Life Alyx. And the modders that are available in that community just keep knocking it out of the park time after time.
Alyx, Barry and Maya, well, remember when we asked them not to investigate the giant levitating building in Sector X? Well,
We're getting into that floating building, Alyx.
Shut your eyes, Miss Vance, and picture the end of your struggles. Is it freedom that you see, or just darkness? After so much bloodshed, was it all worthwhile? You have to decide, Miss Vance. It's time to choose.
you mean I actually get to use this thing?
This article comes courtesy of Peter Graham at GMW3. 2020's Half-Life Alyx was a seminal moment for VR. Valve not only finally adding to the much-loved sci-fi franchise, but also giving creators the chance to build upon it with Steam Workshop. As if you need a reason to step back into City 17, later this year, a stunning-looking mod is due to arrive with a big campaign, Half-Life Alyx Levitation. The first details for Levitation were released over the weekend by way of a very slick trailer, promising a, quote, 4 to 5 hour experience for the average player. In it, you'll continue your role of Alyx Vance, fighting through the dangerous streets of City 17 on a new mission to an area called Sector X. Two of Alyx's colleagues, Barry and Maya, went to investigate a mysterious levitating building and, well, haven't come back. So you need to find out what happened, and it seems as though the shadowy G-Man will be making an appearance whilst your buddy Russell also makes a return. Other than that, not much else is known, but expect the usual action-packed gameplay with plenty of combine and head crabs to work your way through. This being a Steam Workshop mod, Half-Life Alyx Levitation will, of course, be free when it launches later this year, currently scheduled for Q3. Ruuts, you know, we get lots of these mods, right? There seems like there's another one every month. But the really good ones stick out. And for what it's worth, as gaga as everyone went over the gunman contracts, this seems something that's a lot more my speed. Not that I didn't like gunman contracts, but I think it's a little bit overrated. This is more what I'm looking for when I go in to play a Half-Life Alyx mod.
Yeah, you want a story base. You want something to pull you through. Except for this is the thing, man. That gunman contract would be phenomenal if they just procedurally generated where the enemies come from. It would change everything. You'd never know where they were coming from. It would be fresh every time. But it is really cool, right? But what Wolveraza says in the chat is exactly what you just said. It says, "Wow, sure looked official." He thought it was an official Half-Life Alyx game, and that tells you how good this thing is. The good news is it's not official, because if you already own it, you don't have to pay for it. You get a free experience or game here, which is super cool, right?
Well, Sayo, I think he put it best earlier in the chat when he said it's Half-Life Alyx is the gift that keeps giving. That is true. It's kind of the one must-have app in the, well, not the one, but probably stands above all others in the PC catalog. As if you could only have one game, this is probably the one you want to get, because not only do you have like the most amazing game on PCVR, but you have all of these mods, and there's hundreds of them, and some of them, especially the more recent ones, are becoming very good as people are really learning how to manipulate this this Source 2 engine.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's one of those things we talked about when it first came out, and that game of the year discussion. Was it the game of the year? That was one of the things we talked about because of the content down the road because of this, and that was all theoretical at the time, which is crazy. And Mash says,
How dare you?
says the gunman contracts are amazing, and Hack wants to know how hard is it really to get the Half-Life mods working. It's as easy as opening the community page on Steam and clicking a button. Super easy. One of the easiest mods you'll ever do, and it's actually supported through Steam.
Yeah, it's super simple. It's not like your typical mod where you're having to go into the game files and edit things. Literally, you go into you bring up the game's Steam page, right? You'll see a tab that says Workshop. You click on Workshop, and it brings you into this section, which is basically like the Steam store, only it has Half-Life mods on it. When you see one you like, you click subscribe, and it automatically downloads. Then all you got to do is go in the game, enable the mods, and there'll be a list of them. You can go down a checklist of which ones you want to enable, and then start the game as you typically would. It'll ask you if you want to do a normal game or an add-on enabled game, and that's all there is to it.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, it's easy. And there's a little bit of weirdness when it comes to actually opening them up and stuff. But if you are having a trouble at that point, then just look at a YouTube video. There's somebody out there that's done like a 2-minute video that shows you step by step on, because when I went back in, I was like, what do I do again? Like I have to click on this, and then, but once you get it, it's super easy.
Master says, how dare you? Gunman Contracts was amazing. It was very good. Certainly it was very good. It was what it was, though. It was a linear arcade shooter, like, period. Like, some of the environments were really cool in it. But like the way people talk about that game, you'd think that it was Half-Life Alyx itself. Like, I mean, all the headlines for Gunman Contracts is like, okay, this is what the future of VR shooters should be. And nah, dude, it's a linear shooter. It's really good, but the only reason it's good is because it's in the Half-Life engine. Like, and that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I didn't think it was special. I thought it was very good. It was fun to play. I wouldn't call it like special, like Rarefied Air. Like, it's not like the Return to Rapture Chapter 2. It's not that level. You know what I'm saying?
Mash says it's free. Yeah, we get that, Mash. It's free, and it is good. Bluebell says it was their first PC VR game ever played, and then I was thinking about this while we were talking about it with the it's one of those things that I guess Past Roots was just not even 20 minutes ago was kind of had his foot in his mouth. as he was talking about the superiority of the PlayStation VR 2. And this is when we've said this before. This is where PC VR has the advantage. You can't play not only Half-Life Alyx. You don't have mods like this. You can't, and not only these mods, but Resident Evil or Red Dead or any of them. It just doesn't exist.
But PlayStation VR does kind of have their own version, and in some ways, it's even more versatile than what a lot of people are doing with the Alyx Workshop, and that's Dreams.
Oh, that's true.
Dreams is a game engine for common people to use. It's streamlined, made easy for people, and which platform has more amazing content? Probably Alyx, but that's just because so many of those games are just like Half-Life Alyx, and Half-Life Alyx is amazing. There's a lot more diversity on Dreams, much more diversity on Dreams.
Are you saying that the Dreams engine is better than Source 2? No, I'm just kidding. I know that's not what you're saying, but Dreams is a really that's their version of exactly. That's actually a really good point.
Mash says you put Max Payne in that engine with that story, and it's the best game in VR. But is that what they did? That's not what they did.
No, yeah, we're not talking about Max Payne, and I agree. We're a couple steps away from that, right? People, Source 2, man, people forget, dude. Like that's where
by the way,
Counter-Strike and all those games came from. So, or Source 1.
By the way, before we move on to our next topic here, they're remaking Max Payne 1 and 2.
Are they really? Oh my god.
They officially announced that this past week.
Nice. I've never played through them, so that'll be another game that I probably get to play in VR for the first time.
Yep, it's going to be cool. Really quickly, let's talk a little bit about Ilysia. When Zenith come out and it was such a massive success, and people were so high on it, during those first few weeks, we said, well, what is this going to mean for Ilysia? Have they lost just by being second? It seems over time, Roots, that maybe just the opposite is going to end up being the case, that they might actually benefit from the popularity of Zenith and use that popularity to build upon. The devs this past week commented on Zenith, and they said that Zenith is Final Fantasy 14 to our World of Warcraft. So not only are they saying that their game has much more depth and scope than Zenith, but they're going to use the popularity that this game has already built to bring players into their world as well. I think that this might actually end up working out for them after all, especially if they can deliver with the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It says smack talk, laugh out loud, some smack talk in the headline. And that's exactly it. But this is the thing. I liked it. I liked that smack talk. I liked when I read it. Because I know exactly what they mean. I can't stand Final Fantasy 14. And I have friends that keep trying to get me to go in there. I say, fuck chocobos. I know that's controversial. Everybody, that's probably lost half the audience right there. Like, fuck you, Roots. I just didn't like it. World of Warcraft to me was so much better. The gameplay was better. I'm not into anime, and it was just a deeper experience, and I loved it. And so there's room for both. But I think that basically what the article said is that they're watching Zenith, and there's things that Zenith, or most of the things that Zenith's doing, they would never do, which means they're going in somewhat of a different direction. But they also acknowledge that Zenith is also doing things that not going to do things that Ilysia would do, right? So like they're two different versions, two different games. They can both exist. But I'm looking forward to it, and it made me want to go in and check out this alpha I have access to that I haven't gone into yet. So I might do that tomorrow.
Yeah, you might, but I don't even know if that alpha is still going on, and if it is, it's not going to be going on for very much longer.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, you might want to take advantage. I'm the same way. I didn't get a chance to go in and check out that alpha either, but this is a particularly light week for releases. So if there's a time, if we're going to have a chance, it's this week. So maybe we jump in there tomorrow. That's a good idea.
Is it the alpha we have? We might have the access to the beta. I'm not sure.
Mapper says it's over.
We might have access to the beta. We'll have to ask Mash, but he also says he played Ilysia alpha. It was an alpha, so they don't have much depth yet. and this is not necessarily a knock at Zenith. Sorry, Todd. Neither does Zenith. Zenith really doesn't have
Right.
much depth either. They you can get to level 40, which is cool. So
That is cool. Chris9989 says, having played Zenith and Ilysia Alpha 2, I can confirm that Ilysia felt like WoW in VR.
oh god, see, there you go. That's what I want. I just even the quest, if the quests are just as boring as what Wes said, and you're going, and their story, the fetch this or whatever, if everything else is there, I don't care. But it would be nice if they actually made the quest really entertaining and interesting, right? It doesn't have to be redundant. So
Agreed. Moving along, we got news this past week of a follow-up, a sequel, if you will, that we weren't quite sure we would ever see, Roots.
Nagrus more, great sandstorm, faced by those once crystal born. When harmony lost its way, the storm cannot turn away. Rhythm flows strong in the door-lock line. Go let the storm watchtower shine. Call the mode of home. Call the mode of home. For if no one comes, forever silent shall be the drums.
Musical puzzler Eolia debuts on MetaQuest 2 this summer. So for those of you who don't know, Eolia is the follow-up title to Rhythm of the Universe Ionia. And, we've said a lot about Rhythm of the Universe Ionia on this channel. Mostly about the wasted potential of it. One of the most beautiful, stunning looking games I've ever seen graphically on PC. A beautiful story told in a beautiful world, but a game that was very largely held back by janky, clunky controls and bugs. So, some very light puzzling going on in that. Roots, this looks like the gameplay is actually a little bit more fleshed out in depth, although taking a pretty big step back graphically, as this is MetaQuest 2 footage. I don't know if there's going to be a PC version of this, but hopefully, what the game lacks in terms of, and not that it looks bad by any stretch, but I mean, compared to the Rhythm of the Universe Ionia, this is a step back.
yeah,
Hopefully what it lacks in graphical beauty, it will make up for by actually having controls that work and having a little bit more fleshed out gameplay.
yeah, absolutely. That's what we were talking about during the trailer. Yeah, I'd forgotten about the climbing, and it's just a little weird, the clunky, right? As long as they get the gameplay good, that's really what I care about. The graphics don't look that bad, you know what I mean? But like you said, that was one of the best things about Rhythm of the Universe, right? Was how good it looked. But it didn't look good on the quest. So,
no, it did not, and that's why I'm a little bit worried about this. But if the controls had worked, their concepts for some of the puzzles really weren't all that bad. I like the idea of having musical puzzles. More games should have musical puzzles. So I like the concept. I like this universe that they're building out. They didn't really execute with the first title. Hopefully, lessons learned on this one, and they won't launch it until it's ready. But it's very much going to be a case of I'll believe it when I see it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris9989 says we need Beat Saber 2. I agree. For Masher.
I agree with that as well. Mash says, WTF, they have a lot to prove. I agree with that. They have everything to prove. But I will say this. We've shit on that game a lot. and we've also called it one of the most beautiful things we've ever seen. The truth of the matter is that I'm kind of glad that they're doing a follow up, because the story that they set up with the last one could be very epic. Like they set themselves up for multiple titles into the future with an epic length fantasy story, with characters that you can connect with. Um, Again, all of this game's problems were technical problems, in my opinion, in the first title. So hopefully this title will correct some of those. And I'm relieved, Roots, that obviously they're still getting some kind of funding in here, and they're able to continue on with this, because it is a good story. It's a beautiful world, and again, we don't have enough of these like musical puzzlers in VR.
Yeah, definitely unique. And like you said, it's a cool story. Like to see it continued. So
Absolutely. Speaking of musical quest games, Roots, Unplugged is getting some DLC. And no, I'm not talking about the half joke air triangle that they put out on April 1st, which, they could call it an April Fool's joke all they want, but it was real DLC that you could download and play for a limited time. So, how much of a joke was it actually? But the only reason I'm bringing this one up, Roots, because look at this lineup, bro. Muse, Slayer, Rob Zombie. This is what I've been asking Rhythm Games to do for 4 years. And here Unplugged does it on their third or second DLC. Man, I didn't really have much interest in picking Unplugged back up until now.
this is gonna sound weird. Well, it's not gonna sound weird because we said this when it first came out. I'd love to play this game with my controllers, especially with the music. I just don't know that I'm interested in doing hand tracking anything. It's not this game. It's Quest 2. The tracking's okay. It's not good enough, right? So
You know what though? This a title like this that is completely dependent and built around the hand tracking, a game like this could really get a second life when the Cambria headset comes out with its advanced sensing technology and all the extra cameras that it's going to have. Unplugged might actually become something that's really fun to play. And not that much. I mean, we're going to get that headset this year, and we're in mid-April right now. So
absolutely. How cool would it be? Couldn't they put, I don't know how it would work, but put something you could just put on your fingers, your strumming fingers, for vibration rings, couple rings that, you know what I mean, that allowed you to feel, with a Cambria. That would solve everything, and the better tracking would be amazing.
Or you could get the Mr. Tasselhoff VR neck thing that he made.
Yeah. Well, I know Wolf Raza is going to try it. He's looking forward to it. I don't know that. I just right now I think. Well, I guess if there's any other rhythm games out there, Synth Riders, even Beat Saber, please, Wes has a library of music that he loves that he doesn't get to listen to on anything in these things, right? Like let's not listen to all. Think about all the vanilla people. Let's listen to some hard rock stuff in here. It's not, even though it's not my genre, it should be there, right? So
absolutely. And VR Spraga says, Rob Zombie, Slayer. Did Wes think another VR item into existence? Maybe I did, bro. I've been working on speaking this one into existence for years, though.
Well, speaking of speaking into existence, Dee would kill me if I didn't say this, because she said it earlier. She needs you to say, Wes. She needs to say Destiny 3 VR.
Destiny 3 VR. PSVR 2 launch title. There you go.
Yep, it's coming.
Hopefully. Make it so.
Yeah.
Anyway, super cool. I am mildly interested in picking Unplugged up. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Wait, what?
I got to the wrong one. That's for next week. Pretend that didn't show up.
Anyway, I was just wrapping up Unplugged anyway, saying that now that it's got cool music, I might go back to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and move along. Sweet Surrender update adds new classes, weapons, animations, and more. This coming from Harry Baker at Upload VR. The latest update for VR roguelike Sweet Surrender adds a bunch of new content, including weapons, classes, overhauled animation, and core system improvements. Sweet Surrender released toward the end of last year for Quest and PC, delivering a single player FPS roguelike with randomized dungeons and enemies. In our review, we found that its Moorish difficulty, enjoyable arcade gameplay, and hypnotic visual and audio flair make for a rock solid roguelike, while also leaving a lot of room to grow. Indeed, developer Salmi Games did promise extensive free updates after launch, and the latest, Update 5, might be the biggest one yet. The update actually launched almost a month ago now, but we missed it. And by we, they mean them. But by we, I mean we too, Roots. We missed this one as well. Nonetheless, it's worth covering as it adds a whole lot of stuff to the game. 2 new classes, Grenadier and the Lunatic. And as you might have guessed, the Grenadier focuses on dealing, upgrading, and unlocking explosive damage capabilities. Completing runs with the Lunatic, however, will pose significantly greater challenge, is a rebel whose ferociousness and unpredictability has led the robots to mark them as a high priority target. 2 new weapons brought into the fray, the sawed-off shotgun and the Tier 1 grenade launcher. Plus, weapons animations have been reworked for almost every weapon in the game, with improved hand positioning, new firing, and reload animations. The guns will look more animated and feel more interactive than ever. You can see for yourself again in the trailer that we just watched. Developer Salmi Games also noted that the update includes, quote, cleanups and improvements of the game's core systems, which includes quality of life fixes, loading time improvements, and general efficiency changes. Salmi says these changes will allow the studio to, quote, be even more efficient with future development and updates. Roots, we had early access to this game, and we even tried it before then when it had a demo live on the Steam Next Fest. And we've been pretty impressed with this thing from the get-go. Like, I mean, it doesn't do anything amazing, but it does a lot of things very well. And, shooting things in VR is just fun. And this one, as a roguelike, gives you just enough variability to keep it fresh. But that was then. This is now. This is a much more polished and refined game now. And I did play this game probably pretty close to around the time that they updated it. Maybe not. I don't think I've played it since the update, but I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks ago that I played this game. And I had fun with it then. It seemed a lot of the bugs that we complained about with the early versions were now gone. It just runs very well. And the game's always been fun. I'm glad to see that it's continuing to be supported, not only now, but into the future. This update looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was then, and this is now. It's even better than what you were just describing. So everything we said about Sweet Surrender in the beginning is even better, and can't wait to see where this game ends up in the end, right? So
yeah, and the differences between PC and Quest, while there are differences, they're minimal. Like, this is a really, really good game on the standalone version. And I think I played it standalone more than I played it on PC because really, the advantages that you get from playing it on PC really aren't worth the extra trouble of going through all this shit to hook it up. Like, literally, you can throw the headset on and play something that's very, very close to the PC version. And it's really good. I recommend this game. What is it, like $20 for this? 25, something like that. It's a really good game, and it's one that often goes under the radar.
Yeah, and like we just said, the devs are not done with it. They're just continuing to add to it, so it's cool.
Anyway, I don't know if you guys could hear my phone, but that means that we are pretty much out of time. So we are going to skip. I think we missed 3 stories out of the 20 that we listed. So I'm going to call that a win and move us along to this week's reminders. Oh, so we're going straight to Wishlist, huh? I was going to do what's out this week first. We can do Wishlist first if you want.
Oh no. So do we have a scene for reminders?
Yeah, we have one game out this week. It's in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
We didn't have it. I
So
don't think we had it set for a trailer though, did we?
we did.
Well, we don't now. We're skipping it because we're running out of time.
It's all right. We don't have time to watch the trailer anyway. We have one game out this week. It's out on Steam VR. The Atlas Mystery, a VR puzzle game. This is coming to us from top right corner, releasing on the 13th. So 3 days from today on Wednesday. This game will be out. This is a game we covered recently. This was the one you'll recall from the makers of Belko VR, which kind of puts us in like a, I don't know, 30s, 40s, 50s era movie theater to try to solve a mystery. It's kind of a escape room style game with a cool story and a cool vibe. Pretty interested in this one, Roots. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It definitely is. It looks like a travel to the past, right? A blast from the past is kind of what we like about VR.
That's right. It's one of those few titles that that make use of VR as kind of a time machine to throw you back a little bit and back to an era. Consequently, that things were beautiful. The architecture was beautiful. And not for nothing, but I love the cinema and the old cinema. Just there's a lot of stuff about this that I really like. And even if there wasn't this cool puzzle game mystery game going on here. Even if this was just an interactive environment, I could go hanging out in. I would give it 30 minutes to an hour of my time just to check this place out. It looks really cool.
The puzzles look really cool too. Like, and I can't always tell that way just from looking at it, but just the amount of detail of some of these things, you can tell that you're like that newspaper, and there's going to be stuff in these things you need to find, right? And I just like it. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, looks really good. Oh shit, I'm dropping stuff everywhere. I'm trying to type in this key into the chat for Onslaught because it occurred to me that I promised these people a copy of The Walking Dead Onslaught, and we're about out of show here, so we need to get this thing out there.
Yeah, you guys get ready. It's coming. Who's gonna get it? My prediction? I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, while I'm doing this, let's go ahead and move on to our next reminder, which is the wish list / review segment. And I was going to ask you people to bear with me in real time as I leave a review. I am going to leave the review. I just don't have time to do it now. I'll do it when I get home from work. You have my word. I'm going to review The Living Remain Roots because I was relatively impressed with what I played. It's a very fun zombie shooter for $20, and fans of Arizona Sunshine are going to absolutely love it. Was it overhyped a bit? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, bringing up Half-Life Alyx and Resident Evil 4 probably not fair, and probably does more harm to this title than good, to be quite honest. But beyond that, this is a very fun zombie shooter that I've had a blast with so far, and being that it came from a 2-person husband and wife team, I think it deserves our support. And for that reason, I'm definitely going to be leaving a review on this one. So if you haven't played the game, be sure to wishlist it. If you have played it, be sure to review it. These devs can use all the support that we can throw their way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna leave a review for Star Trek Bridge Crew. I don't think I have done that, and I'm not gonna do it in real time, but because there's little news on that we didn't get a chance to, and it's a good game, right? People need to know.
Yeah,
what's out there.
yes, yeah. So the stories that we glossed over this week, we had some new footage of Cities VR we were going to look at. And obviously, with the Meta Showcase coming up, we're going to have plenty of opportunity to talk about Cities VR before it launches. We got new footage of the Resident Evil 8 VR mod. It's looking like it's coming along quite well. We're probably going to see a release soon. There's like 6.5 minutes of new footage. Again, patrons, all this stuff is linked up in the show notes. All you got to do is go click on it and look at it. But what Roots is talking about, Star Trek Bridge Crew has been relisted. So it was delisted off of a few platforms a month or two ago, and people were talking about it like it's on its way out. Like this is a game whose days are numbered. Happy to report that Star Trek Bridge Crew has been relisted on all platforms. It's now available on all stores for purchase once again.
We need to get in there with GT.
Yeah,
Soon.
we've been saying that for a while, right?
I know. I really want to do it. I just want an excuse to hang out with him again. But I want to play that game again, really, for real.
I've never played it.
Really? I think you would like it. It's strategy. You know what I mean? And there's a story there, and you're like working through missions, and you have to work together. You know what I mean? And actually, you know, I usually play captain, but I would be willing to let you play captain because I think you would be a good captain as far as because you got to delegate. Like you're deciding, okay, the engineer, you do this. You know, you're telling everybody, okay, you're really. I mean, if you're playing it the way you should be playing it, that's how the captain should be making the calls, and everybody else just does what they say.
Well, you know, I'm down for whatever. You know, I don't think that game is going to be the funnest thing in the world. But what I do know is that games like this are as good as your friends.
Yep.
And hanging out with you, with Masher, with GT or Alyx VR, who just joined us in the chat. I'm sure I'd have a blast. So no matter what we're doing, so I could be the captain. I can be Scotty, and do the beaming up. or what have you. I'm flexible, bro.
It's cool, man. I actually had in fun back in the day playing with randoms. Sometimes there was crazy people that were like super serious, like this was their fucking life, and you need to make sure you're doing your job right. And then they would yell at me. But other than that, it was cool.
Winner of the Walking Dead Onslaught, Chatty Roots, and hopefully wife's watching. You know, she was doing the drawing for the second chance giveaway this past Wednesday, and one of them came really close to Chatty, I think. Maybe it was on Master's show, like the wheel, something like that. One of them, Chatty came very close to winning something. Wife was kind of bummed out, like, oh, Chatty almost got it.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, Chatty wins shit all the time. Don't feel bad for Chatty. And now here we are in the very next episode, and Chatty getting the Walking Dead Onslaught. Congratulations!
That's how it works.
On winning a very mediocre but good game. It's pretty good. It's a good game. It's
I was gonna say, I'll tell you
terrible
what,
fan service.
it's terrible fan service, but for somebody that gets it for free, it's phenomenal. It's you know what I mean, for a free game, it's really good. If you spend full price,
like Eric said, it's free.
Absolutely.
Only Eric was talking about free DLC for a $60 game. This is free free.
This is free for Chatty. I always love it. I love everybody. You see names you see all the time. It's great to see it. You gotta get going.
Yeah, it's later than I even thought. So with that said, friends, we're going to wrap this show up quick style. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, ring the bell, support us on Patreon, join us in the Discord. All that stuff is in the description down below.
Yep.
And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you in a couple days. Bye now.
Take it easy.